I'm Anita, or as Omar, the tilted lawyer, likes to call me, the Reddit sleuth. First of all, thank you so much for all the kind words you've shared during Omar's live streams. I read them, or I try my best to read them or catch up with them, and I also try to reply whenever I can, and truly, your encouragement means the world to me. Now, if you know me, you know I can ramble, and but I'll try to keep the intro tight because there's a lot to say and a lot to show. Before we begin, I wanted to say a few things. The reason I created my website and this video is simple. We're 5 months into this and people are still tuning in, many for the first time, or still trying to figure out some things and are lost in the hundreds of pages of filings and also all the PR. They often don't know where to start or lose, track of thought. We all have full-time jobs or, are not as crazy as some of us are. I can take the crown for being crazily obsessed. But there is a reason why I'm obsessed with this. I'll get into that. Anyway, this is where my work comes in. My goal is to share not just content, but clear, factual information based on the legal filings. When I say factual, because even as per the United States law, whatever is written in the filings should be considered factual. I will be looking into both the filings. I will be diving here and there and see where things lead and how things add up or they do not add up. I have spreadsheets, I have timelines, I have cross-referencing, and many, many more. I've been working on this at this point for about 2.5 months. I have a few gigabytes of stuff on my Google Drive. So now I'll be honest, I do have my opinions and I'll always flag them clearly. And just that, my opinions, but I'm also trying my best to minimize the snark or the sass, which is very hard because I also know there are new viewers and they can be put off by too much emotional tone. That said, sometimes it's really, really hard to stay neutral, but I'll do my best to stick to the facts when I can, and I'll let you know when I'm speculating, over-speculating, or I'm mildly speculating. So I built this website, which is going to be linked below, anitas-theory.com, because I had posted a PDF in the Reddit. It's a long story. I'll also get into that another time. But people were asking about my PDF because I think many people saw that maybe I was making sense. And as time went by, I think even I got Omar, the tilted lawyer, on board with me. He's still skeptical about a few things, but don't worry, we'll work on that as we go. His support has been quite amazing. He listens, he encourages, he doesn't judge. We listen, we don't judge. But I think it's been fun talking with him about this. Excuse me, sorry. By the way, I am not an editor. And I just want to do one screen recording, and I apologize if there are noises or here. I'm gonna learn as we go. Anyway, I built this website because people were asking about my PDF, and I thought, why not make it accessible? So here it is. Just a heads up, this is not a professional site. It's me learning via YouTube tutorials, trials and errors, and Wix subscriptions, canceling, rechanging. Anyway, it's been a roller coaster. And there may be bugs, typos, and missing links here and there, but please bear with me and feel free to reach out to me with corrections or suggestions what I can do to make it better. I also want to say huge thanks to a couple of Redditors who have helped me fact check, and their support has meant a lot to me because I know that they're true Justin Baldoni supporters, and I felt comfortable going them with stuff that I had uncovered, and one of them being a post yesterday that was done. We're gonna get into that. I just want to give a big shout out and a special thanks to 999 subredditor, redditor, and the moderator in subreddit team Justin Baldoni, and Many-Sun 1814. Thank you. You've been amazing, and thank you for being patient. I've chatted with them for hours at times, and anyway, great. Big thanks. And anyway, before we dive in, I just also want to do a quick legal disclaimer. The content in this video and also on my website reflects my personal theory and interpretation based solely on publicly available legal documents and reference communications. All commentary analysis are my own opinions and not statements of fact. Please do your own research and form your own conclusions. I welcome corrections and will update the content accordingly. This work is not affiliated with or endorsed by any individuals or entities mentioned. Okay, enough pre-rambling. Let's dive in. So, you will see here I have Blake Lively's Scarlet letter, Exhibit A. Basically, Exhibit A led me to this theory, and I think Brian Friedman had done it very strategically, where he didn't, he put everything on the Exhibit A, but there were sprinkles of information that I have kind of connected. We will all connect it together. So, this is what is my theory. Filing a lawsuit was never part of Blake Lively's original plan. From the beginning, everything she did, the 17 demands, the timing of the January 4th meeting when they all met up at the penthouse, it was all for the way the public narrative was going to be shaped, and that was also premeditated, but not with the intention of actually suing or doing with the CRD. That was for another purpose. We're going to get into that, but it was never to escalate it to a point of formal litigation, but something shifted. Something forced her hand. In my theory, the turning point was that Jennifer Abel's phone was confiscated. I believe Blake Lively's camp expected that phone to back up her claims and showed, when her reputation was going south in August, right around the premiere, because she wouldn't discuss domestic violence. Or not discuss, she wouldn't mention, and also, we're gonna get to that too, but you know what I mean. She was sure that everything was happening to her due to external attacks, coordinated. But when they got the phone, instead, they figured out it was not that. First of all, there was no smear campaign. There were no coordinated effort to discredit her. I will prove that through Exhibit A and other filings, and also cross-referencing what was happening. And also, second, this is where it gets really important. They found far more than they bargained for. They discovered that Justin Baldoni had been documenting things for far longer than they realized. And even more importantly, they found out that Brian Friedman had been involved behind the scenes much earlier than we thought, actually. We thought he got on in December, but he was there way earlier than that. And I believe that's how everything changed. Suddenly, it wasn't about public perception for them anymore. They realized there was something more serious. It was a legal liability. And from that point on, I believe Blake's team realized they couldn't walk away quietly. They did what they did. We're gonna the subpoena, the sham subpoena, the CRD, everything. It wasn't part of the original plan, but this was improvised, and they had a plan, and they had to shift, or how was it called? Correct course? Is that the right word? Yeah, they had to correct course. They still had to, we know and speculate. Well, maybe it's not a speculation at this point. We know who they are, or how they are behaving in public. So even that, so what they found in the filings was that Baldoni had been documenting things and preparing for extortion, and I'll get to that later why. So this is where my theory begins, and this is where the series and my website is all about. What I've done, I've built a week-by-week breakdown, starting from the moment Blake Lively joined the cast of It Ends With Us, and I trace everything from there all the way to December 20th for the CRD complaint and 21st New York Times article, and everything beyond that we have been experiencing simultaneously. Every press release, every legal filing, every behind-the-scenes shift. I've been digging into the timelines, cross-referencing it all with the news reports, filings, and messages, and laying it out step by step, because I think once we have a step back and then just remove the interpretation that we're fed by both sides, by the way, not just Lively side, but mainly by Lively side, it becomes very clear. And, you know, obviously these are my opinions, but I believe that we have way more common sense than people who are blinded by things. And I think that's where we agree. There will be points where we'll disagree as well, or you will disagree with what I say, but I think that's where we can talk and you can guide me and give me another point of view. And I'm happy to update stuff. Like, this is my theory. I'm happy to be like, oh, there could be these options, A, B, C, you know. Anyway, we can discuss. So that's where we're starting. I'm going to start with the proof that there was the extortion. On the website, you will see there's the theory there. And I'm gonna start with this. 1 second, please bear with me. Again, I'm not editing because this is very hard. Nope, no, that's not it. Just a sec. Okay, so, well, this was one of my original PDFs. This is gonna go to the website as well. Just 1 sec. What page is this? All right, this is proof of extortion. Please bear, sorry. Okay, so this is gonna be all on the website. Yesterday on the Reddit, somebody had discovered something that I had discovered, but it's also part of the series. So basically they confiscated the phone, Jennifer Abel's phone, and based on my theory, they found proof that Baldoni's side had been documenting everything, and I'm gonna get to that. So, number 1, there was an email sent from Jamie Heath to their lawyer stating that they had given a letter of recommendation for Lively to get her PGA accreditation because they felt entrapped. This is Exhibit 8A, page 93. So let's do that. I'm sure many of us know this, but again, I'm trying to reference this here. The quality is not good. By the way, I have typed all of this out, but here's like, hi everyone, I'm writing to you. Jamie Heath sent it, I think it was June 22nd, maybe 22nd or so, 18, I believe. Yeah, it's at 22nd or 17th or 18th. Anyway, that time, I have to check again. I'm writing to you regarding a letter that I wrote on behalf of Justin and myself addressed to the Producers Guild. As you know, we received a request to write recommendation on behalf of Blake Lively for her to receive the PGA mark. Here, he says, as you know, we received the request, which means like they had been talking about this and they had asked what to do. See, it says it's very important to dive into the details, as you know. It means like it's not brand new information. This was a request that we feel was unreasonable and cold-hearted. Essentially, the movie It Ends With Us has been taken unjustly from Justin as a director and essentially from the Wayfarer's control due to the extortion of Blake. So what's important is that we have to see who, like, they must have been writing to the lawyer step by step. This is one of my theories. Without going into all the details of the events that have transpired over the months, Justin and I ended up agreeing to write a letter due to a feeling trapped. She continues to hold a threat over our heads, and every time we try and hold the line, She uses that threat either directly or indirectly to get us to fold. Make no mistake, I am not suggesting that we were literally forced to acquiesce, but given the high profile of the movie, the partnership with Sony, the amount of money invested, and the need to complete the movie, we have written the letter on her behalf, omitting the truth of how and why she was able to contribute in the ways we listed. Of how and why she was, what's important, how and why she was able. There's nothing to do with this letter now. It only served as a way to memorialize why the letter was sent in the first place, should we ever need to explain it. Thank you, Jamie. So here, this is what it is. It's very important to say the why and how she was able to contribute the way that she did. It's important, so there's that. That was one. Oh no, where did my PDF go? So here. No, sorry. Just a sec, please. Okay, here. So there was that. And then there was a text message from Jennifer Abel. She encourages Baldoni in a text message on August 2nd, where it says, where is this? This is Exhibit A as well. Exhibit A. Exhibit A, page 109. Let's go there. Oops. 109. Okay, here. This was sent August. Jennifer Abel writes, "The truth is your defense." Actually, it's Scarlet letter A, "The truth is your defense." I think I love that. "You have done nothing wrong, and there's over a year worth of facts and paper trails and people who can go on background as your defense. This document is an overview, and I think as the situation evolved and as it has become realized that great lengths she has gone to in order to cut you out of not just the film but promo, the premiere, etc., we need to prepare as if she will also go through any great lengths with the press. It's a good thing if we all prepare for the worst outcome, because then, if and when it's not as bad, we're over-prepared." And then, what does Baldoni say? "Please get the lawyer hired ASAP, August 2nd. And then Abel writes, "It's my understanding, redacted is already all over that, but I'm here to help." Here, it's a very short, how to say, redaction, you will see. So I would say it's either Jed or Melissa, because I think Mel, it could be, if I don't know if that's her nickname, because we'll get to the Melissa part as well. Or maybe Brian. It could be Brian is already all over that, but I'm here to help. It's my understanding Brian is already all over that. So anyway, this is like, I'm unclear, but those are my three things. It's either Jed Wallace. No, actually, no, Jed is not, because August 2nd, sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. I think Brian would be. It's my understanding is Brian is already all over that, but I'm here to help. Or Melissa, we'll see. Anyway, we'll figure it out. This is the part that's not important yet. It will be discovered then. And then the other, so that was that. Oopsie. That's not what I wanted to open. One sec. Again, not that. How do I open what I wanted to open? Oh, okay, sorry. So that was that. And the same day also, Jennifer Abel writes to Melissa, right? After after Justin Baldoni says that, "Please hire the lawyer ASAP." And then page 67, Blake Lively, in Blake Lively's filings, this is, so it's not only on Exhibit A, by the way, so I'll show you page 67 of her complaint on when? On her amended complaint. I think that was her amended complaint, yeah. So this is where she says, later the same day, Miss Abel conveyed to Miss Nathan that Mr. Baldoni was questioning whether the plan was aggressive enough, texting that wanted to feel like da-da-da could be buried, da-da-da-da, we can't write it down. So this is the part where that's important. First of all, oh, I'm gonna analyze all of this. This is like another beep show. Anyway, this is what Jennifer writes to Melissa. You can, of course, do that, but I do think he needs to know. I'm going to confidentially send you something he's texting me and Jamie on the side just to arm you before this call. I think you guys need to be tough and show the strength of what you guys can do in these scenarios. He wants to feel like she can be buried. I'm gonna get to the buried part. But here, confidentiality. So, Lively saying that, oh, I'm gonna send something on the side. And they have Abel's phone. Why aren't you showing us what was said on the side? Why not? You know? This is a continuation of like, they're showing something else. Again, they just didn't show. And I think this is like, they're acting like whatever was shared on the side was like the plan on the second. Then show us what that was. Why aren't you showing it? And my confidential, it was like confidentially shared. That's why right after the lawyer thing, a comment from Baldoni. So there's that. Number 4 is that this is just me proving that why I'm showing this is that I'm proving that we don't have to be worried because they have so much more information that they're letting on because of Baldoni's, Jamie's, and Steve Sarwis's belief and everything. They are not here to attack her and just drag her name. They just want to defend. And they have released enough to be able to defend themselves. They're just basically, you know, they're going to go to court if needed. So they've given enough to clear his name and fight the PR thing that was Lively was doing. But everything else would be disclosed in court. He has the upper hand. Whenever I see all these filings, all this uproar, oh, he did that, I do not get worried. I do not get frustrated because for me, ever since seeing all of this, I'm just not worried. I don't know how else to say because Lively's actions say that they're scared. Also, we're going to get to that. I'm sorry if I'm saying we're going to get to that, we're going to get to that. But I think if I start mixing like the timeline, jumping there already while I'm starting here, it's just going to get confusing. So we have to go from start to finish. Anyway, so the 4th one. After Lively and Reynolds demand Baldoni and Jamie and Wayfair take the blame for Blake's backlash on 12th of August. This was on Exhibit A, page 136. Where is the Exhibit A? Nope. Okay. This is what Melissa Blake and Ryan want Justin to put out a statement. This is unbelievable. And Melissa is like, call if you can, career killer for them and Wayfair. No, have to fight it. At what point do you fight? Important. August 12th, they're even acknowledging he hasn't been fighting. He hasn't been smearing her. At what point do you fight? It's now. Lawyer up now. Abel is like, this is so crazy. And Melissa's like, honestly, I've never had anything like it. It's Melissa saying, can he please hire a lawyer? Melissa is begging Baldoni to hire a lawyer. Like, it's just, for me, it's wild to call this man a predator. Can he please hire a lawyer? Like, the PR people are like, it's like, oh, he needs to fight. He needs to defend himself. And Abel is like, he needs to. He has one, but he needs a litigator. So he has one. This goes back to the documentation. I'm going to get there. But he needs a litigator. And Melissa is like, get Brian Friedman. He's waiting and will also take on WME. In this case, they can either take on WME. Does that mean like they can fight WME, or would they also, you know, I feel like they can fight WME. Anyway, this is like the part, like I was like, it could go either way. But it says like, yeah, I think it could, in this case, it could also mean that they can fight WME because they knew the connections with Ryan Reynolds. Maybe they're coming next, huh? Anyway. And yeah, he's waiting. Friedman is waiting. So he's in the know. He's in the loop. So he's not like, let's hire him. He's a good one. He's in the know and he's waiting. So there's that. And then there is, my bad. Again, that fifth one. And also as per Blake Lively's amended complaint, the same, like the next day after the 13th, 12th was that, 13th, can I start a signal thread with you, me, and Jed, just in case you need him to connect you to Brian, because they're very close. So, sorry, what page was that? I need to check. Yeah, what page was that? Page 69. Okay, it's not this one. 1 second. I need to go back and find it again. Again, so many filings. You will understand, I hope. Hey, that should have been the one. I'm gonna see. Page 69. Anyway, I cannot, I think I have mislabeled this one, maybe. There's this thread, okay, just bear with me. 12, 13. Oh yeah, sorry, it was page 72 apparently. I'm gonna fix that. So you can see here, can I start a signal thread with you, me, and Jed, just in case you need him to connect you to Brian, because they're very close. So, oh, by the way, I've also found the connection between Brian and Jed. It's not as devious as people think. We're also going to talk about PR people, what they do, how one person can have a good client and then have a bad one, just like the Gottlieb, all the lawyers and stuff. Like, just because somebody has worked with somebody once and they have done some, let's say, dirty job, that it doesn't mean they always do. This is just like, let's say if somebody is a genius in PR, and just like lawyers, they can defend a person. It's how to say, it comes with the profession, I guess. There are certain things I don't like personally. I don't know anything about Brian Friedman's morals and everything. The way he has been litigating everything, I can look at it as a lawyer. I don't know him personally to understand what he stands for and everything. The same for their, like, Lively's lawyers and everything. Ethical, unethical, you know, we say that, oh, I wouldn't do this if I was a lawyer. Like, sure, but not everybody has that. And the same thing goes with Jed and Brian. You know, I'm not excusing or anything. I'm just saying that this has been my observation of the PR, how to say, PR companies. Again, when I was doing research, I've seen people like represent really good people, and then you see that one person, I was like, oh, but does that mean that person is bad? Again, I'm not questioning that part. I'm looking at the profession of what they are doing, I'm not trying to judge who they are as people, the people that have worked. Sometimes if they have spoken about those things, that's a completely different, like sorry, my words are just like getting mashed up together. What I'm trying to say is that if somebody comes out and talks about themselves as a person and they say, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, and then we have access to their actions, obviously I'm talking about Lively, Ryan Reynolds, or Baldoni and everything, you know, they come out, they talk, they're open, we can do that. And then there are people like Leslie Sloan, Stephanie Jones, and everything. When I was doing research, I didn't know anything personal about them. It was just about their work and everything. Obviously, as we discover, we can see different things, but the same with the lawyers, how they talk, what they're doing their job. They have to say certain things, they have to act a certain way. So some people who we don't know many things about, I'm trying just to, again, this was a ramble. I was trying to, I hope you guys understood what I'm trying to say. I'm just gonna move on because then this can be much longer than it needs to be. Anyway, so there's that. And then, so these were the 5 texts. And then there's another one that I hadn't mentioned there yet. Then there was, one second, please. Yes, also, so I have 7 signs of proof that they have so much more, and that's why Friedman has been so confident. So there's this, it's Exhibit A, page 136, and Abel is like, Blake, it's part of a much bigger conversation. I'm gonna dive into this much later, obviously. Much later in the sense that when we go through the timeline, just for purposes now, this is all I want to show. This is proof of that they've been documenting. Where did that go? Again, I had so much more. 1 second. Again, please bear with me. Oh yeah, I changed it because I was searching another one there. Nope. It's part of a much bigger thread. Oh God. I think I'm almost there. One sec, I cannot. All right, I think it's here. Anyway, I'm looking for a text message where like Melissa says something very interesting. Oh, here it is, page 131. God damn it, I was quite close. Oops, sorry, that rude to say. Here. Jennifer Abel and Melissa Nathan discussed the article about where they had changed the word, like the article was supposed to come out and somebody had described Baldoni as chauvinistic or misogynistic, I believe. And then they're discussing like they're happy that, you know, it was just written as oh, I know, okay, which one it is, but it's about the sister where Melissa Nathan managed to change the words. And then and I'm like, Jennifer Abel is like, I'm dealing with a psychopath who literally called you a sexual predator. Let's all be happy with difficult. And Melissa says, I have it on text message, by the way. Oh, so, which means Ryan Reynolds should not be dismissed. Anyway, they have it on text message, so there's that. This is 131. And lastly, this will be the last part, and then as we go in. So, when I started just a little background. When I was doing my theory, when I started doing it, it all started, I think like with Blake Lively's motion dismiss, and then I had click moments, and then I posted posts, blah blah blah. And then as I just like started getting convinced about my theory, I was doing more research, and then I came across text messages, because in my mind I was reading the things, you know, when I was doing research about the text messages. I found something online. I saw that in the Reddit, they're discussing where this came from, and from Reddit 999. At that point, I had just newly joined the Team Justin Baldoni thing, and I saw that and I was like, have you seen this? Anyway, we started chatting, and then she said that she hadn't seen that before, and then we dug up and she found the actual source and everything. And basically on April 10th, with the help of the subreddit, the moderator of the Team Justin Baldoni group, I wrote an email to the Friedman thing, because I think I found out something that's quite important, and now I'm gonna show that. So this was a Gmail. You will see this is an email that I sent to Friedman. This is a breakdown, and I'm gonna read that with you. So you can see I did a little bit happy thing. Let's skip that. Anyway, we wanted to bring to your attention a PDF file which seemingly has been suppressed but nonetheless posted and reported to as an exhibit to Blake Lively's CRD complaint between December 21st to 23rd, 2024, and later resurfaces through the random mentions of by a Lively supporter. Upon our independent research, we think it was not in a CRD complaint and was later scrubbed from the web. We may be wrong. To our understanding, the text messages screenshots come from the source linked below. So this is the earliest we could find. This is actually the Redditor, because after I shared with her the screenshot, she managed to find the source. Let's open that. Oh no, why is it doing that? Oh yeah, I was trying to redact, I think. Sorry, here. So let's go to the screenshot. So this is what it was. So there's 22 pages of exhibits from screenshots. Apparently it was in the CRT, and I'm gonna prove how it was not. So you will see there are these pages of screenshots, and some of them are in the CRD complaint, some are not, and one of them, like which are not, I discuss here, I believe. Oopsie. Okay, so on 17th of May 2024, Jennifer Abel writes to Baldoni, "He blocked you? Is he a 12-year-old girl? Ugh, this kind of behavior is ridiculous, and part of the whole plan to keep chipping away at you because they know you will notice this kind of stuff and then likely acquiesce more to her demands. We can put the plan down on paper and work with Jamie and Ashmi to make sure we all have all the documentation needed of what happened on set, who witnessed, what and who would be our allies to go on background if needed to shut down her claims, and then a timeline of everything Wayfair did to ensure it was a safe set, etc. We will get through this together." So this was that. And then Baldoni's like, "Yes, thank you. Blocked me and Wayfair." That was Ryan. And upon scrambling through all the filings, I was once more reassured these messages were not filed in any of the lawsuits, yet alone in the CRD complaint on December 20th. Upon further inspection, I asked help from a subreddit moderator who confirmed one time that the file was not in any filings. Upon thorough research and multiple reverse image research, we managed to find the original source of the PDF, which was the Los Angeles Times article posted on the 23rd of December. So I'm gonna show you. This was the original. You will see, the behind the scenes machinery of modern Hollywood burst into the open over. So 23rd. So you can see this article. You can find it if you want to. I'm not going to read the article because it's not in interest or important to what I want to share. Upon further inspection, there were 2 attached PDF files to the article published in LAT. So on the 23rd, CRD complaint and then the alleged exhibit. Both files were actually created on December 21st, shared through the same link, which appears to be the domain for the LAT source. However, the file creator themselves are encrypted. So, what I mean? But in reality, it appears to be that both files were actually created on December 21st, 3:27 a.m. And then there was this alleged text exhibit of text messages for press package. When trying to research where the screenshot of the text appeared again, we could only see these. The 2 mois doesn't show file creation. So when as I said, I think it's been scrubbed off. And then December 23rd, it was the LA Times. And then again, Just Jared, December 23rd. I'll show you quickly. So you can find this here. It was December, every text message from Blake Lively here. I couldn't find the metadata for this, but I did metadata search for everything. I'm trying not to be confusing. I'm sorry if I am. I'm really trying my best. So this was the CRD complaint in the LAT Times. It seems like it was this time, the CRD complaint. And then the alleged exhibit was this time. When trying to research where the screenshot of text appeared again, we could only see these. And then January 2nd, Just Jared, the same exact post. But then, okay, so this is very interesting. This is why I think it could be the Baldoni side as well who released these text messages again. But why I think it's the Blake Lively side, I'll tell you why. Because Baldoni side could have released it in a way to, how to say, to let us know that they've been documenting, you know. Again, both parties could have been doing this. And January 2nd, Just Jared, the same exact post is reposted. And then January 11th, 2025, subreddit Baldoni Files. It's a BL worshipper. I didn't put his name there, but we all know who he is. He had talked about this twice, and why I think this is Lively side, I'll let you know. So on the 11th, he will scroll down, and he says that here he says, this is from the exhibits that were attached to the New York Times article that includes a few text messages not found in the complaints, which is incorrect, as the source is California Times Bright Spot, like sharing a LAT domain, and New York Times has been using a separate one for their files. And that same person, I didn't, like, this is the link, I didn't want to show his name and everything, you guys can do your own research, but there's the video and there's timestamp I put. It says like Times put out their article, and they also included a PDF that had a bunch of these text messages in it. Not all of them are in Blake Lively's complaint or the article itself, including this exchange. So before, you know, I was thinking like, oh, maybe he forgot where he found it, but he stated it twice in a way that, oh, New York Times put it, but actually it was never part of the New York Times article. And in order just to check or double check that, I went to the New York just to see. I went through the post, I went to the Time Wayback Machine just to check if it wasn't, and definitely it was not there, but it was in the LA Times, and it was actually shared with the LA, the sharing, how does it, file share link that's encrypted. We cannot get to the source of it, but look at that, what I have to say. Look at this URL. I'm gonna do this. Alleged exhibit. Exhibits from the complaint. Look at this. from the complaint of Blake Lively versus Wayfarer, I'll press package text PDF. Press package. Complaint. And why I think this is not part of the actual CRD. I don't think she put it in the complaint, because here in the what is it called, in the CRD complaint that's linked to the what is it called, how to say, it shows all the exhibits. You know what I mean? It shows exhibits that's attached, whereas this is not an exhibit, so it was not attached. It's a separate link. So this exhibit, that says exhibits from the complaint of Blake Lively, you can see extortion personnel, right? But here actually it shows all the exhibits that were attached. Why isn't that in there? Anyway, that's just a question that I had. There's that. And another reason why I think it's not that is that Wallace, when he sued Lively for defamation, he also put only 4 exhibits, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, 4. Neither files show that these are exhibits. And I think that this was from it's a press package. Anyway, I can't explain. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, but this is that. And then in my email to Baldoni sites, so basically this link was actually also on the December 21st, and they were, Duma and LA Times had access to this press package on the 21st. 99 and I were like trying to understand why they wouldn't release, and this was one of my theories. I thought maybe this was a backup to New York Times, because what if Megan Twohey wouldn't publish it, right? So what if CRD right to sue wouldn't be enough? I think this was just a backup thing, excuse me. So there is that, and then when trying to research that guy, so basically, like in the video, like somebody asks him that, oh, where did he get it for? And like the body language, again, I was doing deep type research, right? I can see like when like somebody asks him, the way like he skips over this thing, like tries to hide it away where he got it from. And I think, I don't think I have to explain anything further than that about that guy, the one who shall not be named. Actually, no, he's not that powerful. It's just very funny to see. Yeah, he doesn't trigger me anymore, just sometimes. But you can just laugh at him. On that note, another strange detail was that CRD complaint via New York Times. This CRD complaint in New York Times shows a later creation of the PDF file than the LA Times, and file sharing platform as well as the application creation software used is different. Seems like the LA Times created the file 12 hours earlier, but maybe I could be wrong with the timings. So this is like the research that I had done. I did the metadata comparison. You guys can do that too, I guess. Like, how do you see that? Anyway, this one is in Hungarian, so I'm not gonna get into that. But anyway, this is what I had sent, and yeah, so this is why. So I think I showed you 7 reasons as to why I think they have extortion, and they have way more than we think they do. And I just want to encourage the Baldoni supporters not to be scared of anything. Actually, I'm not going to call it Baldoni supporters. I think like truth dragons. I don't know. Tooth dragons. I know. Wow. I should go. Anyway, truth dragons, let's call ourselves maybe. And yeah, this is why, because like it's just ridiculous everything that's happening. All of the things that I shared with you, I didn't even have to read any PR things. Everything, it has been there. The truth and everything. And the things that are written you don't have to read between the lines much. I would say like it's quite obvious. Whereas I feel like when you're trying to twist words, you also have to twist your mind in order to understand the twisted words in the way that you want to understand them. So I'm quickly gonna go over the text messages that are not in the CRD complaint. Wow, this must be a very long video. So let's open. Oopsie, not that. Yeah, this is the one. So how do I even, let me download so that it can be full screen. Okay. Oh no. Oh no, Melanie. Okay. I apologize if I'm saying all of these things. Again, I'm not a public speaker. I'm gonna learn. I've already started watching YouTube videos on how to express my opinion better, because I listen to myself back, because I think it's very important to fight for the truth, and I don't want people to be put off by how I speak. But I do think that I have quite important, it's not like I have the important, like a lot of things have been shared with us, and with all the PR stuff that's been going on, I think sometimes we got distracted. Just want to get back to facts. Anyway, Abel was like, he blocked you. We read this. Baldoni says, yes, thank you. Blocked me on Wayfair. And then what Baldoni says, it's why I wanted to hire a person to help me document everything. But I can't live in that fear. Not willing to. But I need you guys to very much have a real plan so I can feel at ease. You know why? Like, of course he needs to feel at ease. He needs, like, he was labeled a predator. And then, like, the ridiculousness that of says, like, oh, he was preparing, you know, and everything for that. Of course. Like, who wants to be falsely accused a predator? She has done so much already. Of course he was scared, and of course he needed to feel at ease. And finally, he was like, you know, F that bitch. We're gonna protect ourselves. Oops, sorry. And then Baldoni says, hey guys, one thing I want to do is the Dr. Amen show. I know you have your feelings about it, but his practice saved my friend life a few months ago. With everything going on, I want to have an offensive move as well, showing my neurodivergence and some of the attributes that come with it, so that I can start talking about it. I'll tell you why this is important. Most anything that I have been accused of is social awkwardness and impulsive speech. And I think me sitting down with him and just looking at my brain and talking about some of these things will be helpful for me. So, why this is important? Because his offensive move in the public was, again, even it wasn't the filings and everything, he wasn't doing that. Before the press stuff was happening, anticipating, like, one of the things that how he could, like, he'd never wanted to sue her for extortion. This is back in June, right? So that's later on. Obviously things change in August. He wanted kind of to discredit her, what she was saying, by not saying she was extorting back then, because he never wanted to show how bad and evil they were. He always wanted to defend himself. And that's what I've been trying to say over and over again. They have much more. Much more than they're showing. Because their initial, defense move was basically not discrediting, kind of talking about things without showing how evil they actually were to him. It was all about defending. And obviously, when August happened, and then they started talking about the, air quotes, behavior on set. And even then, they weren't in offense. Up until on the 13th of August, when they asked to get the lawyer, to apologize. 12th of August. until they were asked to apologize with Jamie and Wayfair studio together. Everything was, again, like dodging all the bad press, everything, preparing how to do this. It was, again, defensive move. And then as an offense in June, they were thinking that, oh, let's, I got social awkwardness and everything. By the way, I don't think he's socially awkward. The way he talks, like, he articulates himself so well, or he tries to, at least, like, the depth and everything. I don't know the other parts of it. It's basically, this is like they were trying to be offensive, because, like, on offense move, by showing that it's like a misunderstanding or something. Again, their defense was not even showing how evil Blake has been. Anyway, this is, I think I should really pre-type what I'm gonna say, because otherwise this will be hours and hours. Sorry. And then Jennifer, this was like 1st of August, Blake weaponizing feminism to any other, She heard the story before and will do anything for us, just FYI. Yeah, so this one, we're not in love with the document they sent. Wait, I think. Yeah, so Baldoni says, yeah, just feels like very much like there's not much defense, and also them feeling strong, like she's going to do something, just a bit concerning what everyone had originally thought. I think Baldoni here is just waking up. People probably, like, if how producers were saying a lot of things about her, and he still had benefit of the doubt. Anyway, these are the parts where I get angry and triggered. I need to calm down. I think, yeah, those are the ones that we hadn't seen. Oh, by the way, I have found another new text message, which is very interesting, but it goes in the timeline while they were on set. So it's not PR time, so I won't be showing that. Oh yeah, this one. This was quite funny. And don't worry, I didn't kill her and send her in a box to your house. It's a congratulations present. This is funny. This goes in the timeline later, because this is more about PR wars. All right. Yeah, I think this is pretty much it. I think, yeah, I gotta learn how to speak less. Sorry, and not to get off track. So this is that. Again, I apologize a million times for if I spoken, how to say, for way too long, or like it's completely unorganized. Again, I don't know, I'm not trained in this, I'm not on anything. I just have a lot of thoughts. I've done a lot of research. I have a lot of timelines. I have a lot of things that I want to share with you. And yeah, please let me know what I can do to do it better. Looking forward to updating more. Hopefully tomorrow I can start from day one, which is January 2023. I will break down everything to like pre-production, post-production, etc. If you go to the website, you will see, where is it? So this is the website, right? Oh yeah, wait, this is the website. I'm still working on the deep dive. I have to find the graphics. Again, I don't want to be copyrighted and everything. So there are like 4 parts of it. Actually, my deep dive, it will have to be 6 parts. I'll try to do 20 to 25 minutes for each time. I will pre-write the script so that I don't talk this much. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Please let me know what I can do to improve things. If you have any questions, any feedbacks, you can write in the comments. And yeah, I'm excited. And thank you all for supporting me. It means a lot. I'll try my best to be the sound of truth and remind people when the PR things get out of hand. I just want to be pointing back at what was actually happening and why things are happening out in the media world. Anyway, thank you very much and take care. Bye.